Hello, welcome to my tech talk presentation of English. My name is BV Raghuram. I'm from CSC and MLC section. Today my topic is about the top tips to be a better listener. So, listening is an important skill in all areas of life. Whether you're supporting a loved one through health problems, dealing with colleagues, or in family relationships. But most of us aren't good at listening as we'd like to think. When we show we are really listening, it's much more rewarding for a person talking to you. You'll get more out of it too. This is called active listening and it can help avoid misunderstandings and reduce the potential for conflict. So here I have top 10 tips I can give you to make you an outstanding listener. The first one is facing the speaker and maintaining eye contact with them. Second one, listening to their non-verbal cues. Third one, not interrupting them while they are speaking. Fourth, not judging them or reaching to any conclusion while they are speaking. Fifth, uh, not planning to say what you want to say during their speech and focusing on their speech or whatever they are saying, listening carefully. Sixth, showing that you are listening. And seventh, not imposing your solutions or opinions onto their speech or their communicating method. Eight, staying focused. Nine, asking questions about the speech or the information you are receiving or listening. 10, always paraphrase and summarize what you have listened. Will definitely make you a great or outstanding listener. Here we start with elaboration on my tips of becoming an outstanding listener. First, maintain eye contact, which is very important part in a face-to-face conversation. Too much eye contact can also be intimidating. So adapt to the situation you are in. Try breaking eye contact every 5 seconds or so, or to show that you are listening attentively. Look at one eye for 5 seconds and then the other for another 5 seconds. Then switch to looking at their mark. When you look away, look sideways, up, down. It seems like you don't want to listen to the conversation or not close to the information. You are keeping yourself privately. Check your posture and make sure it's open. Avoid crossed legs or crossed arms, which can make you look closed or defensive. Leaning slightly towards or sideways while listening while sitting to show that you are listening, as can a slight tilt of your head or resting your hand, head on your hand. So here we can see the picture of woman closing her legs and arms, which makes it seem like she is in a defensive position or she doesn't want to listen to the speech given. Where we can see the gentleman in the suit sitting right next to her with open arms and with a smile on his face, making the speaker confident and assured that he is actually listening and is very focused on the speaker's voice or the context he is speaking. Listening to non-verbal cues, facial expressions, tone of voice, and gestures can tell you just as much as what is being said in words. Pay attention to what the other person is saying with their body language. Are they smiling, for example, or are their arms crossed defensively, or are they rubbing their eyes as if they are tired or upset? Even on the phone, you can learn a lot from other person's voice, which might sound subdued or upbeat. So here we have picture of a person with an open arms, representing that he is open to questions or he is open to criticism, to make sure the listeners he is giving speech to understands what he is saying. He's not in any defensive position. He is actually in an encouraging position and very open with his arms. So this is the strength of nonverbal cues a speaker can give to a listener and listener can understand from them. Don't interrupt. Being interrupted is frustrating for the other person. It gives the impression that you think you are more important or that you don't have time for what they have to say. If you are naturally a quicker thinker or speaker, force yourself to slow down so that the other person can express themselves. Remember, a pause or a few seconds of silence doesn't mean that you have to jump in. Letting the other person speak will make it easier for you to understand their message too. Even interruptions that respond to something that they have said can be distracting if it means the conversation gets sidetracked from what they were trying to tell you about. If this does happen, steer the conversation back to, so you were telling me about so and so, so and so. So interrupting the speaker can lead to many distractions and show that you are not an attentive listener. Listen without judging or jumping to conclusions. If you start reacting emotionally to what's being said, it can get in the way of listening to what is said next. Try focusing on listening. Equally, don't assume that you know what's going to be said. For example, when a person is talking to you and he is saying that you are fired, so that he can say that because you are getting a promotion. But when you hear you are fired and instantly jump in and say with emotions and anger why I'm being fired, he's not going to be willing to tell you the news that you are being promoted with a good impression on you. And if you assume what is going to be said next, you can many times be wrong and always can reach an different conclusion from what the speaker is saying. So make sure you don't judge or jump to a conclusion what the other person is saying. Don't start planning what to say next. You can't listen and prepare at the same time. If you are in a meeting and listening to someone, you should not plan starting what to say next because it can lead to many distracting thoughts and make the meeting or the speech inaudible or uninterested to you. So here we have a picture of group of office members sitting together while one member is explaining, others are already starting to say what they want to say next. So because of this, there are three-person distracted while only two people are listening to what the person is saying. Whereas we can see an attentive listener always focuses on and only listens what the speaker is saying. They do not focus on any other things and do not prepare what to say the next time. The picture we can understand clearly about that. Showing that you are listening. Nod your head, smile, and make small noises like yes and mm-hmm to show that you are listening and encouraging the speaker to continue. Don't look at your watch, fidget, or play with your hair or fingernails, which can lead to the speaker understand that you are not at all interested in the conversation. Making snort noises like yes or mm-hmm can make the speaker feel like you are listening more attentively and it will be actually very encouraged to continue speaking with in an effective manner so that you can understand what they are trying to say better. If you look at your watch or play with your fingernails or hair, it's going to seem like you are not at all interested in the conversation and are actually distracted. So he'll feel discouraged and would not be willing to speak next. So do not do that if you want to become an outstanding listener. Don't impose your opinions or solutions onto the speaker. It's not always easy, but lending a listening supportive ear can be much more rewarding than telling someone what they should do. When a loved one has health problems, it is time when they probably want to tell you how they are feeling and get things off their chest and their mind rather than having lots of advice about what they should be doing. In other areas of life too, most people prefer to come to their own solutions. If you really must share your brilliant solution, ask First, if they want to hear it, say something like, "Would you like to hear my suggestion?" or "Are you going to take my advice if I give some?" Or tell them, "Hey, I think you really should be doing this in the other manner, how I think you should be doing." Directly imposing your opinion or your solution onto them will lead to many confusions and give them a lot of pressure whether they should be using their own conclusion or using ours, which will make you a bad listener and also create many conflicts between the speaker and listener. Three tips which are mainly bound to make you an outstanding listener are staying focused, asking questions, and paraphrasing and summarizing the context which you have listened. Staying focused in an a listening meeting which can actually make you understand the concept, meaning behind the things what they are trying to say. You can understand their non-verbal cues, you can understand their body movements, and you can understand the hidden meaning behind what they are trying to say. And then coming to asking questions, if you have any doubts you can ask question to the speaker, which will give you when they answer it will give you a clarity, and you can further understand what they are trying to say in a better manner, and make sure you can paraphrase and summarize. So paraphrasing and summarizing actually means paraphrasing and summarizing can actually make you understand more about what you have listened. When you summarize a topic, it will jot down the main points of what you have listened. And paraphrasing it actually makes you remember them for a long period of time, which will help you because you have actually concentrated, stayed focused, asked questions, and listened to the context like an outstanding listener you are. And at last, remember, practice makes perfect. Old habits are hard to break. So you will need to make a conscious effort to become an active listener. Try spending a week in which you summarize the main points or outcomes at end of each conversation or meeting. This will help you get into the habit of paraphrasing and summarizing and other tips which I have given. Thank you for listening to my PowerPoint presentation and Tech Talk of English to improve your speaking skills. The 10 points I have given. Hope you become an effective listener and can paraphrase, summarize, focus, and ask questions when they are necessary so that you can actually understand what you are listening. Thank you.